Okay. So this is a search session. Let's continue the object-oriented class. We're talking about the classes here. Here is whatever variables inside the class we have to create inside the class. And this is whatever methods that we have or functions we have to build inside the class. Okay. So sometimes in the exam, he bring it to us in this form. Okay. So he will tell you, okay, I want a variable called description of type string and a width of type integer, height of type integer, and frame color of type string. Okay. So that is cool. That is all inside a picture class. So we have to create a class of that contains all these variables and have a constructor. I think you have done a constructor in the exercise. And then we have to create all these methods. Okay. So get a description. So we know if we created these variables is a private, it means that everything outside the picture class cannot have access to the description variable or the width variable or the height variable or the frame color variable. So what we have to do, we have to give the people outside the class access, controlled access to that variables. Okay, so we allow people to get whatever inside the description variable without the ability to set it unless through our functions. So people are able to use get description to retrieve, to return whatever inside the description variable. And also they are able to set the description, but under our control. Why do you think they create all this trouble? We was able to have functions and variables global that we can control all over the code. But why suddenly we want to busy ourselves and make ourselves into trouble by creating these classes? Actually, one of the big issues that we face if you are writing 1,000 of lines of code is actually having a bug inside the code. A bug is actually something that a mistake that you created inside the code and you forgot about it. Okay, so you said, okay, description should be always be 10 characters. And then one of the time you was not paying attention, and then you changed the length of the description from 10 characters to make it 20 characters. And then you are not able to find inside your code, inside your 6,000 lines of code, where exactly did you change from 10 characters to 20 characters. Okay, but that's because all the functions are able to access all the variables at the same time without any control. But having a class in place and having this kind of control over who changed the value of the description and when, then you are able to prevent bugs on the long run when you're running a big complex solutions of software. Okay, so that can be a question that you can be asked, why you need to use classes or object-oriented. You organize the code and you reduce bugs, and also we make use of old code. So let's say you are creating 10 projects, 10 software projects, and many of them will be using a picture class. So instead of getting the functions, copying all the functions and all the variables from one place to another, you just copy the class from one project to another, and then you are done. You got everything in one place. You want everything related to the picture, you just copy the whole class to the new project, and then, okay, that's clear. So it actually encourage the reuse of the software. Okay, does this make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so it saves time. Okay, now let's have a look at what is the requirements here. Okay, so let's have a look here what this guy is doing. Can you see the code here?
Yeah.
So he created a class called picture, and we know there is no declaration for variables. So he just and this is also always required in the exam. He will ask you to declare variables, so you have to write them commented in this way. This is a requirement. Okay, So although it is not code that we run, but it is a requirement in the exam. So description is of type string, width of type integer, height of type integer, frame color of type string. And then this is a constructor. It always look like that. And then you are passing 4 variables to the constructor. Okay? You are passing the description, you are passing the width, and height, and framework. And so that's how you assign them. So all this, if you can remember from the last time, sorry, all this like that is inner variables to the class. Okay? And that parameters is something you pass from outside the class. Okay? So now if you want to get the description, so you return the private variable that is stored inside the class. Okay? And if you want to get the height, you use that function, you call it, and it will get you height. If you want to get width, then you return self width. If you want to get color, you return self frame color. Let me see. Is that clear to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to set a description, then you have to pass a new value to be inserted inside the description. So can you see the last thing that we have in here? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we move to another example. So he asked us to create another class. The class is called treasure chest. And actually, so it have 3 variables: question, answer, and points. And then we have a constructor. And this constructor takes answer and points as a parameters and create an instance of an object. Okay. And then he asked us to create 3 methods: get question, check answer, and get points. So, okay. So here we return a question, check answer that, okay, he takes the user answer as a parameter and returns true if it is correct, otherwise return false. And get points takes the number of attempts as a parameter and returns the number of points awarded. Okay, so the first requirement, can you please read with me?
Under the tree constructor, right? You mean the get question? Oh,
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Joy?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, can you read it?
Oh, okay. Create a new program. Write program code to declare the class treasure chest.
Okay.
Do not write any other methods. The attributes are private. And if you are using the Python programming language, include attributes declarations using comments.
So that's actually a real exam question. So he asks you to write these comments. Okay. So we have a look. So now I want you to tell me what every line of code means here. What is this line of code?
They created a class called treasure chest.
Okay, what is these 3 lines doing?
It's a comment for the marker. It's not affecting the code. It's just a comment to notify that question is a string and answer and points are integers.
Okay, but this is called declaration. Again, please look at here. So what he said here, sorry, it's horrible because
Declare. Okay.
so you see, include attribute declaration using comments. So this is required, and you are able to do it like this. Okay. Okay, good. So this is called declaration. Okay, what about this? What is this? What is he doing here?
It's defining the variables, questions, answer, and points.
Okay, so are those parameters or what?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is considered public variable or a private variable?
A private, self as private.
Okay, wait. Okay, you have done something in the exercise, and you use something like
2 underscores.
self. Yes, exactly. So actually, okay, here he's just explaining, so he doesn't really create a proper underscore. Later on the slides, he will show that, but at the moment, he is talking about private variables, but he didn't use the underscore. But it's the correct way that he should be putting underscore. Okay? So in the current case, if he used like that, this is called public. Okay, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next. Please read and tell me.
Another way of not making it private but public is not to include self, right? So what if we don't include the self dot? Is it public or it's invalid?
No, actually, any variable you want to create inside the class, you have to use self.
Oh, okay.
You have to use self. If you use it, if you don't use self, then that's not how this is not related to the class at all.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, you want to create variables that is tied to the class, that belong to the class, you have to use self.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. The main program repeats each question until the user inputs the correct answer. The number of points awarded depends on the number of attempts before the user gives the correct answer. The class treasure chest has a method get question that returns the question. Write the method get question.
Okay.
Second, the class treasure chest has a method check answer that takes the user's answer as a parameter. It returns true if the answer is correct and false otherwise. Write the method for check answer.
Okay. Now, please have a look. So when he requests a question, so if you don't use self, then you are getting a variable that is not related to the class itself. It's just a temporary variable, and that is result from any operation. So you are able to create variables here. You can create or return an empty question actually. So instead of returning, sorry, I apologize. Instead of returning that, you can just say you can come here and write, okay, question is equal, who are you? And then on the next line, you said return question. Okay, and that have no relation to the stored variable inside the class, self the question. Is that clear?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, tell me what is this doing? What is
it's defining the parameter check answer, which is to if that the answer
check answer is a method. Check answer itself, this alone, it's a method. Okay, what is this called?
Oh, that's the parameter.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now what is this doing?
If the parameter user answer is the same value as self answer, it returns true unless it returns false.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, now please read.
The class treasure chest has a method get points that takes the number of attempts as a parameter. If the number of attempts is 1, it returns the value of points. If the number of attempts is 2, it returns the integer value of points divided by 2. If the number of attempts is 3 or 4, it returns the integer value of points divided by 4. If the number of attempts is not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it returns 0. For example, a question is worth 100 points and the user took 2 attempts to give the correct answer. The user is awarded 50 points. Write the method for get points.
Okay, I want to ask you, did you see that before, div? Do you know how it works?
Is it dividing by 2?
Yes, it's division by 2, but it is a special type of division. So if and also you don't get that in Python. Actually, this is used in pseudocode. So if you want to say div in this way, you have to do like that.
Okay.
Okay, so that actually, if you are actually this one is not beneficial when we are dividing by 2. This is beneficial when we are getting a decimal point actually. And so if I divide by 3, so we'll be having a result with a decimal point. And the function of this kind of division that is getting me whatever whatever that is not that is out the decimal. So let's say this is the result, okay, of this division. Assume now maybe it's not it's slightly not accurate, but let's say it's like that. So this kind of division, these 2 slashes, will return to me that portion of the result. It will remove that part. Okay. Good. Okay. So I would want to go here. Wait, give me a second, please. Okay. Okay. We want to create a class. It's called treasure chest, right? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, please tell me what to write.
Class treasure chest with a bracket.
Okay, good. What else?
And colon. Yeah. And then you, I think, can define
Okay, declare what?
or declare that the what's the parameter again?
We have question, we have answer, we have points, right?
Yeah. So question is string. Yeah.
I don't
String.
know. Okay, string. This guy is not allowing. Okay, okay, now, yeah.
Declare the
Answer
yeah.
is of type string also, right?
I think so. Okay. And
Hmm.
declare.
Yes.
What's the other one again? Marks, I think.
Points.
Points. Yeah. Also string. Integer. Oh, okay.
Integer because we have to divide by 2 and we do this kind of operation that he showed to us. So now, okay. So how to define a constructor?
Define underscore init underscore open bracket self and include all the parameters.
What is the parameters?
Question, answer, and points.
Okay, what to do here?
Making it private, which is self dot underscore.
Okay.
The question, which equals to the parameter earlier, QES, and another two self, this one with the underscore of answer.
Okay. Here we write answer.
Yeah, which equals to the parameter ANS.
Okay.
Points, which equals to the parameter P.
Okay. Let's not do all the other methods, but let's do only the last method that we have. I don't know why this guy is. Yeah. Okay. This small. So what was the last thing? Let's have a look. So I will make a print screen for that, and then I will send it to you, and then I will send it to you on WhatsApp, and then you read for me, because you are the one who's supposed to tell me what to do. I send it on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Now tell me.
Okay. So we're gonna define
What is the method that we need to define?
points.
Only points? It's called points?
Oh, get points. Get points. Yeah.
Get points. Okay. And then I have to pass what here?
The points.
Are you sure?
P.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, wait, can we read again? The method get points takes number of attempts as a parameter. Okay. So we have to pass it what? It have to take the number of attempts as a parameter. So what should we write here?
Attempts.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now, what is the next?
And then if attempts equals to 1.
Okay.
Return true.
Are you sure?
No, actually.
Can you read what we're going to do with the points? I think we have to return something with the points.
Yeah, return the value of the points.
Okay, so now what? Just self dot points only?
Self dot underscore points equals to 100.
Okay. Yes, but wait, let me check with you so I also can. Okay. So see. So if the number of attempts is equal 1, it returns the value of points. The value of points, we're supposed to already put it inside. So, okay, if the question is worth 100 points, it means that when we created the constructor, wait, let me share with you here. So here, if you can, okay. So when we created that, we will pass here 100. Okay, so it means that points here will internally have 100 stores inside it. Okay, so when we set get points and we start to calculate based on the attempts, if attempts equal 1, we will return the points, and at the moment it contains 100. Okay, it's fine. We just return the points that's there. That we already put inside it when we created the class on the first time. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So now we go to the next step, please. What should we write? Mm-hmm.
Else, attempts equals to 2.
Okay.
Return self.
Okay.
Dot points.
Okay.
Divided by 2.
Like that.
Should we put a bracket?
We can also put a bracket. Yes, we can. But just now we talk about returning something that is an integer. So we don't want to put return points, since he showed to us that we use div. So we don't just divide. We divide means that we only return the integer portion of the points when we divide. Okay. Okay. Now what else?
Else.
Okay.
Attempts is equals to 3 or 4.
Okay. Equal to 3 or attempts equal 4. Okay. What should we do?
Return
Mm-hmm.
the same thing but divide by 4.
Okay. What else?
Else,
Mm-hmm.
if the attempts is more than 4.
Mm-hmm. More than 4. Where did you read that? Wait. Okay. If the number of attempts is not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it returns 0. Okay. So, okay. If it is not, so it means that, yes, if it is bigger than 4, yes, you are correct. Yes, we can do that. So else, if attempts.
So what's the difference between else if and else?
So else means that we will not check any condition. So see, so else if we're using if here, okay, let me remove that. So if we use else like that, okay, if we use else like that, it means that see here, if attempts equal 1, we will execute that line. This is horrible. This is horrible. I don't like it. Okay. We will execute that line. If it is not equal than 1, if it is anything else, we will not check any other condition. We will just execute whatever you put here.
Okay.
But on the opposite side, if you use, wait. So we end the session here like that, and then we continue in the next session.